The room was quiet on that final night. The lamps flickered against the walls, casting soft shadows over the faces of the disciples who sat close to Jesus. They had eaten the meal. They had heard him speak words that stirred both comfort and confusion. They knew something was changing, even though they could not fully understand how deep the change would be. And then Jesus lifted his eyes, not away from them, but toward heaven, and he prayed. His voice was steady, full of love that felt heavy and holy. He prayed first about his mission, acknowledging that the moment he came for had finally arrived. He talked to the Father not as someone uncertain, but as someone who had completed his assignment. He spoke of glory, not glory for himself alone, but glory that would reveal the Father. He said he had finished the work he was given. He said that eternal life was not distant, not unreachable, not something to be earned through performance, but simply knowing the Father and knowing him, whom the Father had sent. For the disciples listening, it must have felt like time paused. Then Jesus spoke of them, the men who left nets, homes, comfort, families, and reputations to follow him. He said that they belonged to the Father before the world ever knew their names. He said they had received his teachings, believed his words, and accepted that he came from God. He prayed not for the world at large in that moment, but specifically for them. He asked that they would be protected by the Father, because he was about to leave physically, and they would remain in a world that did not understand them. He knew what waited outside those doors: betrayal, scattering, uncertainty, persecution. But rather than praying that they would escape difficulty, he prayed that they would be kept in unity, held together by love, strengthened by truth. He spoke with affection that only someone deeply invested could speak. He said he had watched over them while he was with them, like a shepherd guarding sheep, like a father shielding children. But now, he was entrusting them back into the Father's hands. It was not a prayer of abandonment. It was a transfer of care. Jesus prayed that they would be filled with his joy, a joy not controlled by circumstance or safety, but rooted in spiritual certainty. He prayed that truth, not opinion, fear, or religion, would shape them, refine them, and prepare them for what lay ahead. He knew they would face hostility, not because they were wrong, but because they did not belong to the darkness around them. He said that just as he was sent into the world, he was sending them into the world, carrying light, carrying truth, carrying the message of hope. Then something extraordinary happened. He shifted his prayer toward the future, toward countless people not yet born, toward believers who would follow generations later. He prayed for everyone who would come to believe because of the words his disciples would carry. That included distant villages, unfamiliar languages, generations separated by centuries, countless hearts across continents, and it includes us. Jesus prayed that all believers, those physically present, and those who would one day read his words, would live in unity. Not identical, not uniform, not perfect, but united in spirit, united in purpose, united in love. The world would not believe because Christians argued well. The world would believe because they loved well. Jesus said that the same love the Father had for him would be placed in those who followed him. He asked that we would one day be with him, not just spiritually connected, but brought into eternal closeness. He prayed that his glory, the beauty, goodness, and kindness that came from God would surround those who believed. No anger, no judgment, no frustration.
Only love.
John 17 is not a prayer spoken to impress, nor a prayer whispered secretly. It is a prayer spoken openly so his disciples could remember it forever. He prayed before nails, before betrayal, before mockery, before his blood spilled his final act, before suffering was prayer. Not for himself only, but for the safety, strength, and unity of those he loved. It was love spoken into eternity. Today, if anyone feels unnoticed, uncertain, unworthy, or disconnected, John 17 stands as proof that Jesus anticipated their existence and spoke blessing over them long before they lived. We were included in his final prayer. We were named in his heart, even without ever being in the room. And as the disciples listened that night, not fully understanding what the coming hours would bring, they heard something that would shape the rest of their lives, that the God of heaven wanted them, watched over them, and loved them, even after Jesus physically left. John 17 is proof that love remains when circumstances shift. It is proof that God holds what we cannot. And it is proof that even before the cross, Jesus looked ahead and prayed for us.